I really like this flow, actually. This is really quite good. Just talking out loud is really helping me to associate a lot of things to one another and allow me to put more puzzle pieces together. So this while I want it to be for other people, I mean, come on. It's got to be obvious at this point. It's just for me. And I hope that somebody else comes along and can get some benefit from it too. I mean, I'm fine with just talking into the ether to nobody. That's perfectly fine because this really is just about me as far as like my own growth and self development and all that good stuff. But really, as I was just listening to a couple of things that I just recorded, and I've been talking about judgment, I've been talking about betrayal, I've been talking about a few different topics. Maybe those are the only two. I don't remember. Running my mouth for so long, I'm not exactly sure what I've talked about exactly, but and that's perfectly fine. But it just occurred to me, and I was talking about the fact that judgment and betrayal have been a running theme in my life and all that good stuff. What I haven't really gone over, and it's really funny. I know somebody else is going to relate to this. I mean, to some degree, if we're talking about themes, I can add another theme right here of my life, and that is my tendency. Once I betrayed myself as a child, I'm guessing this is probably what it was like. Once that happened, I'm sure that it opened the door for this to be the kind of thing that I would want to do in my life, and that is to like want to escape from my life. That was the tendency, and I used any method at all. I think I've talked about this a little bit before at some point. I'm not sure if I will ever end up releasing that video. I have quite a bit of content that I've recorded, none of which I've released yet. That will be soon on the docket, I'm sure. But I kind of wanted to just get a baseline before I started releasing any sort of information, at least have some information to play off and maybe refine down the road if I felt like it wasn't good enough or whatever. But yeah, I largely wanted to escape my life. I mean, I used a lot of different methods. The methods aren't so important, but video games, Netflix, alcohol, weed, substances, anything outside of myself. Porn. Yeah, whatever. It was just like things to help me to continue forgetting all of this nonsense. Which, gosh, thank you to the Most High. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, whoever you want to call it, Jesus, whatever name you want to give it. It doesn't matter. The Creator. I thank the Creator for leading me down the perfect path to come right back to Him. But something that I learned through this, and that I'm sure somebody else relates to some degree, is that you don't get to skip lessons, You can't. Impossible. You can think that you are skipping lessons. You can do everything in your power to try and avoid whatever it is that you're supposed to learn. But I promise you, it's not working. And I can tell you that because everything works the same for everyone, and I am part of everyone. And what I can tell you is that not only can you not skip lessons, it may be even a small lesson that you're supposed to learn. Some of the small lessons, even those small lessons are hard or challenging to some degree, you know? Hard to face. Hard to accept. Hard to accept that you're the problem whenever it comes to those lessons. But if you skip, or try, rather, to skip the lesson, because we've already established, you cannot skip the lesson. It will only get louder and louder until it's deafening. And that's probably confirmation burp, who knows? That's probably how some people end up dying, honestly, by attempting to skip lessons. And the universe is like, you didn't say the magic word. Just a Jurassic Park quote, or reference, rather. It's like, nah, you can't do that, man. It's like, this is what you're here for. It's just a reminder. Like, this is what you're here for. You chose this. You wanted this, don't you? You don't remember yet. Well, that's okay. I'll keep reminding you. I'll keep reminding you until you remember for real. I mean, it sounds like this is like a forced situation whenever you talk about it like that, you know, but it's just this whole problem of you chose this and also chose intentionally to forget. All of us did. And I mean, that goes for all the people that we see as, you know, quote unquote bad or whatever. I mean, they chose a lot of the people that are quote unquote bad actors in the world that are doing quote unquote nefarious things, which, I mean, to some degree, I see where you're coming from whenever you label it as such. But I'm really not seeing it the same way anymore. I mean, they're playing their part too. They're playing it to perfection. In this world of duality, if we don't see something so horribly opposite to what we want, sometimes we would never figure out what we do want. Or perhaps we would never figure out what we did want, or what we, It's impossible to talk about. Everything is happening now. Nothing's in the past. Nothing's in the future. It's all now. Power of presence. It's what all the masters talk about. Because that's all we have. There's nothing else but slices of time that look like they're corresponding and correlating and contiguous or continuous. Whichever word fits better. So fun. But, yeah. Lost it again. So I guess we'll pick it up in a minute.